Hey YouTube, welcome back to Ron&Lia. Today I have a special guest with me, Miss Camille Elizabeth. She is 3 months old, and today we're just going to talk about our NICU experience and her just being born at 30 weeks. It was a funny story. I was at the nail shop getting my nails done, and all of a sudden I just started having really strong contractions. And I knew I was in labor because the contractions that I was having, they reminded me of the contractions I had when I was in labor with my son. And I do have Irish twins. I'm an Irish twin mama. My son is almost a year, so he's almost 12 months. And my daughter is 3 months. So I got pregnant with her shortly after I had Noah, and we're here. So I was at the nail shop, getting my nails done, obviously, relaxing, trying to, relax my mind. And I started getting strong contractions. And I called my mom, and I was like, something isn't right. I don't know what's going on, but these are not normal contractions. Because normally, when you're in your second or third trimester, you have Braxton Hicks, which are, practice contractions anyway. But I knew something was different because they were a little bit too strong. And so I came home. So I finished getting my nails done, and I drove home, and I was still having the contractions. And so my mom actually suggested that I just go to the hospital. So I was like, okay. So I came home, and mind you, this was like at 8 o'clock at night. I told my husband, I'm having these strong contractions, something's not right. We need to go to the hospital. And so he was like, okay, we can go. We got to the hospital around 8:30. Got to the hospital around 8:30 that night, and they triaged me, and a doctor came in, and I told her what was going on. And she was like, okay, well, let's see if you're really in labor. So she checked my cervix, and she told me you're pretty much in labor. Your water broke, and the baby's foot is actually coming down, like as we speak. So when I was laying there getting triaged, pretty much, Camille's foot was coming down the birth canal, so she was ready to come out. So they immediately rushed me back for an emergency C-section. And it was crazy. It was crazy. It was almost like it wasn't even real. That's how intense that moment was. So many people like swarmed around me and started trying to find IVs, get IVs started, the whole 9 yards. It was crazy. I mean, it was literally like 10 people in the room trying to get me set up for my C-section. And so I went through that. Of course, they had to put me to sleep because it wasn't like a planned C-section where you come in and get prepped and, everything is nice and calm. It was nothing like that. There was nothing calm about my experience, but that's okay. So they put me to sleep, and all I remember is waking up in my room. And my husband was like, she's here, you had her, she's in the NICU. And I was like, oh, okay, when can I see her? So I asked the nurse, and she pretty much told me that I had to wait until 5 o'clock that next morning to go to the NICU to see her. And by then it was like 10 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night. So, of course, I didn't sleep the whole night because I was anxious. I wanted to see her. And 5 o'clock rolled around, and they said, oh, well, you can't see her just yet. We're still doing tests or whatever. So I was like, okay. They were like, you can see her. They said you can see her at 6 a.m. instead. So waited until 6 a.m. And then, of course, I had all my machines and IVs hooked up. So they wheeled me down to the NICU to see my baby. And she was so small. What's going on, girlfriend? She was so small. She was only She was born at only 4 pounds, which was actually, it's small, but it's big for a baby only born at 30 weeks. So yeah, she was 4 pounds, and she was hooked up to all these different tubes. And at that moment, I really didn't feel anything. Like I didn't cry or anything when I saw her. So I didn't cry or anything when I saw her. I think I was just in shock mostly. Yeah, so I saw her, and I couldn't hold her just yet because she was hooked up to all her tubes and everything. So I went back to my room, and I was actually in the hospital for about 3 days. Yeah, it was about 3 days. And I was discharged, and I went home. And so I got home, and of course, I was healing from a C-section, so I was dealing with the, trying to manage my pain and everything. And I wasn't actually able to hold her until she was a week old. So that was tough for me. So I didn't really get that instant connection that, most mothers get after they have a baby. Normally you have your baby, and they put the baby on your chest, and you're able to bond and, talk to your baby. It was nothing like that. But I was able to hold her when she was a week old, and I appreciate the NICU because she was healthy and she was stable. It's not like she was unstable or anything at birth. She was just born early, so that's why she had to go to the NICU. But yeah, so that is her story. She was born at 30 weeks. You got anything else you want to say, Camille? Give me the milk, mommy. All right, we'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.